This is a lived American experience that is going to be forgotten unless we capture these stories.
I came from a military family. I did not serve. I've been alongside those that have served in some interesting places as an advisor, but never served. What I've learned is that there are stories that are held within these guys that need to be told, not just for their own healing, but to pass this on as intergenerational storytelling so that their kids and their grandkids can know what they sacrificed in order for us essentially to be free.
Yeah, the legacies in the stories, the lessons learned, like we're rapidly moving out of this understanding of what it means to capture historical evidence and stories of adversity that we can't even fathom anymore.
That alliance with Round Canopy actually allows us to bring those stories into the Reflecta platform and preserve those memories so that they can be intergenerational.
Miles Spencer, welcome to Security Halt. How's it going, sir?
Hey, Denny, thanks for having me. It's going great.
Absolutely. I love the space, man. I love podcasting. I love being able to bring new ideas, new stories from people from all different walks of life. One thing I want to really start diving into a lot more is being able to tap into the wider, network of friends and allies that are out there who don't necessarily have that veteran lived experience, but can offer perspective from a different world. You're definitely somebody that has seen success and lived a life. You've created an amazing company. You're an adventurer. You're an author. You're a mentor. So today, I want to go through your life, but I want to tap into the stuff that maybe you haven't shared or dove into before. Like I want to tap into that part of Miles' life that he's willing to risk trying static line jumping. So he can jump out into Normandy.
Yeah, you got that one. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, man. Today it's all about you, brother. Tell us about who Miles is.
I'm a curious kid from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania that just never quit asking who, what, why, where, when. Drove my parents crazy. And that led to a life of adventure, which you had mentioned one, and ventures, built 3 companies and sold them and created about 1,000 jobs. And then the biggest adventure of all, which is a 14-year-old kid and a 12-year-old daughter that both think they're of driving and drinking age.
Dude, fatherhood, man.
Humbling. Yeah.
You think you got it all figured out, and then you turn 41 and become a dad for the first time.
Right.
That's me.
Yeah. Well, I did that when I was 50, and still the side eye from my 12-year-old girl. It's like, wow, powerful. Where'd you get that? Yeah.
Oh man, can you definitively say fatherhood's been the greatest adventure you've been on?
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's an adventure that I realized I wanted after my mother passed away. And went to my partner at the time and said, like, this is now important to me. And so we actually parted ways as friends because of that. And sure enough, I, just go run around at strip clubs and do, nothing, right? I actually went and had a family. And so she's like, hey, you weren't kidding. That's what you left to do. And I did. And, of course, all my friends at the time was like, oh, you're 50. It's going to change your life. It's going to be so different. It did not change a lot of things in my life, right? Like pretty much driven. It just added a pretty cool component to it all. And, one thing I love to do is travel with them. And most of the places I've traveled with them, I've traveled before. But I'm seeing Cuba or Canada or France through their eyes. And that's totally new for me. That's a cool one. Right.
It's like literally getting to re-experience that adventure from a different perspective, man. I've been able to see that with a lot of my friends, and now I'm aware of it, and I'm like, I'm thinking of all the places I've been to, in the Amazon, the jungles in Peru, and all these wild places I've been able to go to, and I'm like, man, I gotta redo it. I gotta run it back whenever she gets older. Like
Oh, it's
that's a
great.
thing I gotta
Any
do.
chance you get, I highly recommend it. Any chance you get. Doesn't sort of doesn't makes like I went to Havana, right during that little thaw between Obama and beginning of Trump, right? 16, 17. And like, if not now, when?
When that takes some guts, man. I don't know if I would have done that.
Yeah. It's like, kids, we're going to a tropical island. Great food, lots of sun, beautiful beaches. Let's go. It's like, Dad, it's Cuba. Like,
It's an adventure. Oh man, no, yeah. I would say, what was that like? Because for a lot of us, like there's two camps. There's the people that think back on history and what Cuba used to be, and the glamour, the beauty of what it once was. And then there's the history buffs, the people that know and can look at it and then study it and understand where it's at today and say, well, maybe pump the brakes.
you know, I don't even know whether you know this or not, but depending on when this podcast comes out, Wells, my adventure partner, and I have actually just completed and are about to release a book called Havana Familia. And it is about two parts in history. 1958, midnight at the Oasis. Batista's about to go. Castro's about to overthrow him. The mob can't believe that Castro isn't just going to take a payoff and let him keep rolling. What a New Year's that was. And then 2016, when I was there during the thaw, and there was the prospect of entrepreneurship, technology, closer alliance with the United States. It's all going to be better now. Here we go. Not so much.
Yeah.
And so Havana Familia tells the story of 1958 and 2016 and how the two of them symbiotically relate. And of course, gets into the history of Cuba really being this exotic, desired Caribbean mulata prize. And, the Spanish had it for a while. The Americans had it right on our back door for a while. The mob had it for a while. The revolutionaries had it for a while. They partner with Russia. Russia takes it for a while. Oh no, Russia's gone. Soviet Union's gone. Venezuela, sure. Oh no, Venezuela's gone. So little Miss Cuba has been like running into the arms of the next lover and the next lover and the next lover for 100+ years,
Yeah.
right? And it makes for a beautiful story. It's called Havana Familia, and it's out in February. And I bet you didn't know I was going to say that when you asked the question.
No, but let's dive into that, man. Um, I'm a student of South and Central America, and Cuba's in the Caribbean, by way of my previous profession in life, seventh group alumni. It's fascinating the amount of influence and different hands have always been in there carving up different parts of Latin America, carving up the Caribbean. And when you look at where a lot of these countries are, there's a lot of pain. There's a lot of people that are walking around not only with the economic scars, but the emotional toll of generations of misuse. And I
Denny,
have to say, Miles, you have a face that
right?
when you walk into Cuba, it sounds so maybe there's some alarm bells going on. Like, who is this gringo coming in here?
That's right.
To
So, we'll unpack that whole thing. I'm going to unpack the whole thing, and I'm going to start by saying last week I was in Madrid and I had a couple extra moments. And so I went to the Prado Museum and the Museum of the Americas. And there they displayed all the shit they stole from Peru and everywhere else, as if it was a prize, right? Like,
Yep.
sorry, first of all, we brought conquistadors, we brought horses, we brought flu, and we wiped your ass out. And then we took all the stuff, and now it's back here. The only one worse, there's Hiram Bingham, who's up at Yale and who
Yeah.
pillaged Machu Picchu. But all right, separate one. So like, this is they're literally, and we'll unpack the second part of this later. These are intergenerational stories, right? I go to the Prado, it's a beautiful museum. It's got Goya and Velasquez. And what is it? It's like the imperial gaze. You mentioned like the white men, right? Okay, so, they're all there like this,
Yeah. Yep.
looking down upon you like, I, yeah, I've got it all. I gave you Christianity. Now you're saved. So you got
Yep.
that. Thanks for the gold. Any other natural resource. And, worship me or something
Yeah.
because I have it all. And yeah, there's beautiful paintings, right? I used to admire and adore them. And now I kind of look at them like, all right, 100 years ago, white men behaving badly. And they sit in these beautiful clubs in Madrid and Paris and London and frankly, Boston and New York. And they're like, let's basically like, rape and pillage the people in the environment, right? And bring it all back home.
This episode is brought to you by Pure Liberty Labs. Quality supplements designed to elevate your health and performance. Check out their full line of quality supplements, whether you're looking for whey protein, pre-workout, creatine, or a super greens drink. Pure Liberty Labs has you covered. Use my code SecurityHalt10 at checkout today.
And so, on the one hand, this is what our stories from A Line in the Sand, which is the first one in Saudi Arabia and Jordan and Syria, and the second one now is Havana Familia. Well, P.S. the third one's probably going to be in Peru.
Oh, no way.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, you got it all.
I got a special place in my heart for Peru.
Well, we will circle back on that one
Yeah.
because there's a lot of layers from Shining Path, Fujimori,
Yes.
to the precious metals and minerals, to
Yeah.
extracting the gold back in the day, to permanently borrowing artifacts for the museums in New Haven and in Madrid, etc. So that's kind of a natural one. But they tell these beautiful paintings in the museums. They're a way to preserve memory and narrative, right? And my point is that we've had memory and narrative available to us for thousands of years, right? And it's charcoal on the cave, and it's the daguerreotype in the Civil War, and it's like the monks writing in the books, etc. It's like this thing. It's like, that's up in the shoebox upstairs, right? Gathering dust. But it's a way to recall a story because stories have never been intergenerational before until Reflecta came along. So being in Madrid last week, on the one hand, I got to see up close and personal another example of white men behaving badly. And, that seems to be just like a thing, man.
Yeah.
I try to be like a white man who behaves less badly than my ancestors.
But I mean, we also have to understand too that the history, we can't go back in time and judge it by what we know now. Discovery is exploitive. It is. It's you are going into a new place and you're claiming land and resources for Spain, for the Queen. And this goes for any nation. This goes for any of the great explorers. The thing is, like, should they have massacred and plundered so much? Who's to know, man? We wouldn't be here. A lot of us wouldn't be here if it was any different. We can't judge them and be like, how dare you do this to the third world? It's different times. Like the conquest, the idea that you can have discovery and conquest peacefully is insane. And dare I say, someday some other life form comes from some other place.
Oh,
It's not
it's back.
it's not going to be good.
It's back.
Discovery and conquest is crazy.
So
But
there's this wonderful comedian. I got to get this one in. His name is Eddie Izzard, and he has this routine, and we use it. Actually, we use it in almost every book, right? Where it's it's the British. It's you're like, I claim this for the Queen. It's like, you cannot claim this for the Queen. We've been here for 1,000 years. It's like, do you have a flag? It's like, no, I do not have a flag. We don't need a flag. We've been here all the whole time. We have our own cuisine and we have our own language. This is ours. Like, no flag, no country. This is the Queen's. You don't believe me? Here's a gun.
so true. So friggin' true,
There
man.
you go.
Yeah.
That's how it works.
Yep.
So,
Yeah.
you know, um, I'm just going to say perhaps we're getting better by recognizing this.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the goal of the A Line in the Sand, Havana Familia, we call it Journeys of Understanding. And that's to go there, understand the people, understand the culture a little bit, bring it on back home. Don't steal anything except the concepts and the understanding. And maybe that makes us a little better. Maybe that makes us a little more connected as a world. And so we don't just, when we do our adventures, we don't just climb Everest, which is tough. I've never done it. And come back and say, like, look at me, I climbed Everest. You know, we actually look at our adventures as we want something that we can bring back home. I'm rolling now. You mentioned it. So RCPT, Royal Round Canopy Parachute Team. Wells, my adventure partner, found them because they were doing these Normandy reenactments with round canopies. And so we joined the group. Wells parachute, like, hundreds of jumps. And I'm less so. I'm more of a free fall guy. But we go at the age of 62 and get our wings in airborne school with RCPT. And of course, I'm at the graduation ceremony and they go like, hey, old man, like, you don't actually have to get blood wings
Oh, no.
pounded into your
You got
chest. You
to.
can, like, you got a waiver. You'll be okay. And at first, I'm like, I'll take you up on that waiver. And then I get up there with the rest of basically the 82nd Airborne that is jumping together with me out of a C-47 in Normandy in June. And I'm like, I can't not have these pounded into my chest. So let's go. And the first one hurt more. Once it was in there, the next 22 guys that took a whack, I just gave them the eye, like, mind over matter, man. But the point there is that, number one, guess what? Havana Familia kicks off with a parachute scene. And two, Reflecta will be there with the Round Canopy parachute team in Normandy because we're taking the stories of those veterans, and perhaps your audience will tune into this, right? Veterans, look, I came from a military family. I did not serve, right?
Mm-hmm.
I've been alongside those that have served in some interesting places as an advisor, but never served. And what I've learned, and Wells knows, he's Navy, is that there are stories that are held within these guys that need to be told, not just for their own healing, but to pass this on as intergenerational storytelling so that their kids and their grandkids can know what they sacrificed in order for us essentially to be free. And so that alliance with Round Canopy actually allows us to bring those stories into the Reflecta platform and preserve those memories so that they can be intergenerational. Nothing could be more perfect for veterans that are ready. Some are not ready. And I understand that. But those that are ready, it's a beautiful gift, and people thank me for it every day.
Man, you are dead on. I had the honor and privilege of being part of a program last summer with the Best Defense Foundation, escorting some of our World War II heroes back to Normandy. And one of those gentlemen, Papa Jake, um, was just amazing to hear his stories. And he would always tell you he's got 1 million followers on TikTok because he shared his story. And these gentlemen are in their 90s, late 80s, 90s, and you have a sense of understanding that this is a short window of time you have with these legends, these men that for most cases they were young boys when they enlisted, and you think to yourself, well, I'll see them next year, or I'll see them around next year. It wasn't just a few short months after that Papa Jake passed away. And to think, like, grateful that he was surrounded with family and friends and loved ones that got him on those platforms to share his story, to share his wisdom to the next generation. But there's so many of our veterans that are on that. And for them to possibly connect and have Reflect as part of their life, their final mission to the next generation and to their family members, like, what a cool concept, man.
Love to do that for anyone listening, and put us in touch with Papa Jake's family,
Yeah, yeah.
because what's different about the stories on TikTok, and God bless him that he was able to tell them, we deliver a spontaneous and dynamic conversation with this person.
Yeah, yeah, let's
And
dive
so,
into that because it's
right, it's
completely different.
totally different.
Yeah.
It is not a love letter up in the attic, or a Polaroid picture, or a journal, or a book, or a coffee table, scrapbook, etc. This is, use a different example here. My sister forgot the recipe for elderberry pie at Thanksgiving. Now, this is pretty much a disaster in the Spencer household, okay?
This episode of Security Halt is brought to you by Dr. Taylor Bosley and Precision Wellness Group. Let's be real. By now, a lot of New Year's resolutions have already fizzled out. Life gets busy, motivation drops, and health ends up on the back burner. But here's the truth. There's no better time to start than right now. Precision Wellness Group specializes in hormone optimization and hormone health, delivering personalized care and treatment right to your door. If you've been dealing with low energy, brain fog, poor sleep, or stalled performance, hormone imbalance may be the missing piece. Dr. Taylor Bosley and his team take a data-driven, individualized approach to help you get back to operating at your best. Security Halt listeners receive 25% off their initial consultation when they use Security Halt 25 at checkout. Click the link in the episode description to find out more and get started today.
I dialed up Mom. She walked through the Crisco shortening, the butter, the ice cubes to keep it cool, the mixture of the elderberries with the sugar, how to make it crispy on the outside, not soggy on the inside. She walked my sister through making elderberry pie so that I could have elderberry pie on Thanksgiving. Selfish of me, perhaps. Not the only reason I started the company with Adam Drake, but a very good one. P.S. The punchline is my mother passed away 25 years ago. And there it was. Spontaneous, dynamic, perfect knowledge base, never forgets anything anymore. And guess what? She'll be teaching her great-granddaughter how to make that pie someday.
Wow, that's the concept. I mean, many of us can remember when this seems like something like Tony Stark would build. And it is a scene in one of the Iron Man movies. I forget which one, but he's walking through his own memory of an event with his father. Now, when you watch that in the movie, you're like, wow. And he even says it. It's a trauma treatment model to go back and live a traumatic event or an experience that felt undone and to be able to process differently. That's science fiction. Reflecta is modern day tech right now.
To your point about Tony Stark. So, University of Toronto did a study, and they concluded that 41% of people that do family review therapy, which is what Tony Starks did, which is well, a lot of our reflections do together with our customers. 41% experience positive mental health gains by walking through that family review. And, that is a beautiful benefit of Reflecta because those stories are there, and there are no more hugs, there's no more wiffle ball, there's no more walks with the dogs. We're not bringing anyone back to life, okay? My father on his last day said to me, and by the way, I talk to my father all the time. So Arthur is my dad. Arthur is a public profile on Reflecta. You can go and speak to my dad, Arthur or Virginia, and you can ask him about me. But on his last day, he said to me, Miles, this body is temporal.
Mm.
It's like an envelope. It's going to get stamped. But my spirit and soul are eternal. And so when you can reconnect with that, you'll have me the rest of your life. Now, that was 8 years ago. There was no technology for that. I just kind of put it up here. And then 9 months ago, Adam Drake and I said, you know what? Like all of this stuff that we have upstairs, we could actually synthesize it in a platform and make it super easy for people to just start talking to our biographer and create a timeline, which eventually gives you a score, which allows you to handle the emotional load of first texting with a reflection and then speaking to them. By the way, when you speak to my dad, he'll go on and on, by the way. He, his yeah, ask him for Buddy Hackett jokes. That was his stock and trade. So his voice was printed off of a 10-second voicemail left in his granddaughter's phone, which we found 5 years after he
Wow.
passed away.
Wow.
And now he won't shut up. Right. He was an insurance salesman, right? He was a good talker.
What have we done? Oh my goodness. Like I can't even begin to imagine, like certainly things have gotten easier with, with the advancement of AI, but how do you like how do you bring this concept from inside here down into paper and to actually action it? That's the crazy part because like I can understand gathering the metrics, gathering the data, but to put it into a model where it's able to communicate, engage, and here's the key, engage with you to a point where you feel a connection now because it's got the information, the raw data of who that person was.
Well, there are a lot of layers to it, Denny. I believe that now in the rearview mirror, our whole life was preparation for this moment.
Mm,
So let's roll it back a little bit. I have always been a believer in legacy and morals and values and storytelling. The Spencer family story, what's interesting about it is it keeps getting better as I get older, right? Because like no one interrupts it with facts. So we got some tall tales, right? And, you know, I did my best to put them down and blog about it. I talked to my friends and especially my family about it. My co-founder, Adam Drake, had been doing the same thing. We'd worked together on and off for 20, 25 years. And I was like, "Hey, how about this? Well, how about that? How about this? How about that?" And a lot of my stories intersected with his stories. And so I think that the digital media chops were like the scaffolding that allowed it to even be possible. The, um, intergenerational storytelling allowed us to basically, have the skin and bones on the scaffolding, if you will. The timing, it's kinda like being born, right? Like, if you were born in an exciting time, you shouldn't really get credit for it, right? It's just like you showed up. And, yeah, we showed up, but there was that moment in which it's like, "Why us, these knuckleheads from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, to develop this," right? Like, "Can't somebody smart do this?" And why wouldn't somebody in some garage in San Jose, California beat us to this, right? So we had 100 days to do it, And it got to the point where it's like, if not us, who? If not now, when? Right? And then there was the magic. And the magic was the emotional load, turbulence component. I had a very tough year last year. I began many conversations in the second half of the year with nobody died, but, and I had to work it back from there. Literally, emotionally, uh, toughest 6 months of my life. And guess what? I launched Reflecta with Adam and watched people realize what we had done as a product and a service and an offering. And our customers would typically cry and thank us for what we did. Now, at first, that was a neat trick, right? People paying you money and crying. I was like, wow, like, seen that one before. But there's an emotional load to that as well. And it was all very significant. So people have asked me before, it's like, was Reflective built on a broken heart? And the reality is, I don't dance around that answer anymore. The answer is yes, it was. But that is what makes Reflecta so emotionally in tune. And that's why we have a soul team that comprises of a psychologist, psychiatrist, uh, anthropologist, grief counselors, and a psychic that all basically pull this emotional sensitivity around Reflecta and makes it feel right instead of just, you know, an app out there with a grandma that reminds you to
Yep.
make your bed and wash the dishes.
It's trying to develop something true and authentic versus a neat parlor trick.
Yeah,
Um, then that's what I can appreciate of of this. Like, it's not, you're not getting something that just matches a voice and then will just shoot out an answer to a prompt. It's not like Chat GPT with a thin veil of a loved one. It's a deeply studied understanding of who this person was, trying to give you that closure or that connection that you seek.
connection. I
Yeah.
don't think we'll ever deliver closure to anyone, but a connection that, again, has positive mental health benefits. And even though we're not therapy, there's something to the knowledge that you could pass a legacy on. Because think about it for a second. Like, my grandfather's story is a sniper, Big Red One, World War One, to a week deployed, the Argonne Forest, like shot off by a German machine gun nest. Someone said, "All clear," and like, no, not so much. Um, yeah, it's like back in the day. One leg severed. I'm assuming your audience can handle this. All right,
Oh
so
yeah.
trigger warning. Right. Oh, mustard gas. Okay, we're good. Take them off up over the top. Let's go. Take them out. And I guess one of them wasn't out. And so one leg completely severed above the knee with bullets, and the other with 5 rounds. Right, face down in the mud, given up for dead. Gets up, everyone's gone. Fence posts as his crutches, crawls along the Muse River, which we've gone back and retraced, knocks on the door of a farmhouse, realizes the woman speaks French. He doesn't. She slams the door. P.S. I speak French now. They welcome the Spencers back. Um, and he crawls on to Sammy Hill, ends up in St. Malo, ends up in Fort Lee, New Jersey. The nurse, my grandmother, nurses him back to health. He has 12 kids. And that's the story of Herbert Sharpless Spencer. And, that story, had I not put it on Reflecta, my children, my grandchildren would never know it
Yeah.
and could never ask him about it. right. And so we're in an interesting way.
Stories shape culture. They build trust. And when they're told the right way, they move people to action. That's what we do at Security Halt Media. We don't just produce content, we create authentic, impactful, and purpose-driven storytelling for podcasters, nonprofits, brands, and leaders who are on a mission. For people who've lived real experiences and want their message to actually matter. From podcast production and video to strategic storytelling and distribution. We help you clarify your voice, elevate your brand, and connect with the audience you're trying to serve. If you have a story worth telling and a purpose behind it, Security Halt Media is here to help you tell it the right way. Click the link in the episode description to learn more today.
Whether we're ready or not, or we have the information or not, or we're organized or not, like, we're the link in the chain.
Mm-hmm.
And should we decide not to do it, we take it away from generations to come.
Yeah.
So it's not about
It's
me.
true.
It's not about you, right?
Yeah.
It's about them.
Yeah. The legacies and the stories, the lessons learned, like we're rapidly moving out of this understanding of what it means to capture historical like evidence and stories of adversity that we can't even fathom anymore. People, talking to a friend's kid, it's like, man, like, do you guys even know about the Dust Bowl? Do you guys even know about, like periods in time? Like, have you guys read The Grapes of Wrath? And they're like, huh? What? It's like, this is a lived American experience that is going to be forgotten unless we capture these stories.
Well,
And
here's a beautiful thing. Don't know if you know this, but based on this platform, we've also begun eye conversation. So we had a U.S. ambassador jump on the Reflecta platform, and we find out because his son is at the 30th anniversary of the Dayton Accords, which is the settlement of the Bosnian War. Like, not as much fun as it sounds. So Ambassador Holbrook was the UN ambassador, basically the lead diplomat. He took Q&A from all of the 30 people that were there at the reunion, but he had passed away 15 years ago. So
Holy
this gave it
cow.
a little idea, right? Now, not just the ambassador, we have Nobel Prize winners, we have Oscar winners, we have icons of the arts and music and diplomacy and politics and industry, all on the platform, capable of a spontaneous and dynamic conversation. It's like having a master class in
You can't drop
quantum
this on me,
physics.
Miles. You have to
Right.
share some of the people. Who all do you have?
That'll be out next month.
Oh, next month.
It's
Okay.
coming
All right.
next. It's coming
All right.
next
I'm going
month.
to press him after we record. I need to know because in my mind, I'm like, how cool would it be to have, like just some of America's finest authors to sit down and have an in-depth discussion on their writing process.
I'm telling you, Hunter Thompson's on the list. Yeah.
Get out of my head.
Yeah. It's
Oh.
really kind of mind-boggling. Yeah.
That's insane. Oh my gosh. And yeah, the excitement. Like, shoot, is this something that have you looked worldwide? Is this potentially going to be in different countries and different markets? The American audience, of course, is excited for our history, our worldview, but what about the rest of the world? They're great minds, they're great thinkers. Like,
guess what? You ask Arthur to speak French, he will, and he does. Yesterday, we were demoing the platform to a large Catholic church in Brazil because we speak Brazilian Portuguese.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, virtually every language right now.
That's incredible.
Right.
That is, I can't even begin to comprehend the amount of work that it takes to accomplish that. That is.
I mean, I'll take, I'm going to go for the amount of intelligence that it takes because We got the proof of concept done in 100 days.
Really?
Mhm. Yeah. And, it just keeps growing from there. Um, it's not really a time thing. It's a productivity thing. Elon Musk said, and I believe it, that AI is coming at everyone like a tsunami at the speed of light. And so if you hear from somebody, "Oh, XYZ AI might take over, you're this or you're that, etcetera," just rest assured, it's coming at you at light speed. And so by the time you get to the end of the sentence, you better be running, um, because it will dramatically change even a plumber's work. And not that there's anything wrong with a plumber. My brother-in-law's a plumber. He'd just be a much
Yep.
better plumber, right? Right.
Yeah. It maybe won't replace, but it'll enhance. It'll give you an edge over the competition. You already see it developing business plans, helping you restructure, strategize and optimize your schedule to be better, your workflow. Talking to a friend of mine, freaking shout out to you, Philip. We're constantly talking about the entrepreneurial spirit and endeavors that we're both in. And yeah, Chat GPT is a big factor for a solo entrepreneur, because when you need to optimize and you need to figure out a way to do it better than your competition, that's where Philip and I go. So that's a free plug for Chat GPT or any of the data models out there, AI models out there. If you're a solo entrepreneur, if you don't have a team, if you don't have a collaborator, figure out prompts. Figure out how you can get yourself a little bit of advantage over the other guy. You have all the time in the world now. There's no excuse. There's no excuse for not figuring out SEO. There's no excuse for not figuring out all these complex ways that you can outmaneuver people. You got to, man. And then once you figure it out, share it with your brothers. Share
That's
it with
right.
your share it with people. Cause man,
Guess I gotta figure it out here pretty soon anyway. So just share and keep moving. Yeah, like Elon, I don't know, a year or two ago, he open sourced a ton of
yeah,
Teslas. It's like, nah, we're by the time someone else uses it, we're like so far down the road. So it's like, here, everybody, you know.
yeah. It's true. You gotta go out of your way to help somebody.
Yeah.
That's why mentorship is so friggin' important in life. I tell guys, as you, yeah, we like to think that the greatest thing we can do is be a warrior. I'm going to be a warrior for the rest of my life. Like, no, you're going to be a husband, you're going to be a father, then you're going to become a mentor. You have to figure out how to mentor others. You got to give back to the community. You got to give back to your tribe. And that's something that I like about when you look up Miles Spencer. It has a lot of great accolades, but yeah, I think it was an intentional. You put in there mentorship.
Sure.
You put it on there. What's that? What has mentorship done for you, and what role does it play in your life?
I think it boils down to this one. I don't want to die with my Rolodex. So everything that I've learned, every connection that I've made, I just as soon help with anybody that wants it, whether it's this podcast, whether it's my books, whether it's my blogs, whether it's the businesses that I've been fortunate enough to be part of. It's all part of my point of view. It's giving back what I can. And so, yeah, I try to be a very available mentor. Sometimes it's not one to one, sometimes it's one to many, but like, why die with it?
Exactly.
Like, makes no sense, right? And by the
Yeah.
way, my son often asks, "Hey, Dad, I want to ask you this question now, so I don't have to ask you a reflection later, XYZ." Right? Because I know that, like, if I ask the reflection later, it's going to be locked in. And at least if I talk to you, I get a little bit of back and forth and some leeway. So, here's my question. Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah, I would imagine they bust you on that as well.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah. I have to. I wouldn't feel right if I couldn't get your input on entrepreneurial endeavors and what it takes to succeed in business, because Now more than ever, veterans are looking on to becoming entrepreneurs, getting out and starting a business, buying a franchise, being willing to, be the commander of their ship. And it is a very, 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 very difficult space, and at least scary. I know it was for me. Give us a little bit of insight on your own journey and how it started, and what are some of the pitfalls that you would say to the audience to avoid?
Well, like many, my journey was nuts. And I think the most important part of it was the first step. Just get started, right? You'll make a lot of mistakes. Don't worry about making mistakes. Get over it. Like, get started, iterate, recorrect, do it again, do it again, do it again, do it again. Listen to customers, make it a little bit better, right? I think that's a big part of it. One thing I like to do is like listen for problems, right? Like on the intergenerational storytelling thing, like look in your attic. Imagine your great grandson, like trying to piece that story together. Never going to happen. So that was the problem. That was the opportunity. And when you can take, for me, technology and make that problem a little better, there you got a business, right? There you go, man. And boy, if you can find something you love, it's not work. Just added 5 days to your life every week.
It's true. I tell people the same thing. And it's hard to get across that message too. And you have a lot of people in this space that are constantly like, I talk about Cal Newport all the time. It's a great case study for what I think is a missed opportunity at life. Cal Newport will tell you, find a difficult thing, find something that is extremely niche down, that is so difficult to do, and become specialized in that. And when you become specialized in that, people want you and they need you. They're going to pay you a lot of money to do that role. And then the trade-off is you do that for a while and you make all the money you need, and then you can pivot, and then you can follow your dreams. And he uses a lot of case studies. He uses Steve Jobs, he uses lots of popular people that are out there. But it's a little different for the veteran and first responder world. You giving 15, 20 years of your life and then go back into another field that is very difficult. Then you master it, and then maybe on the hopes that you can do something. And I say plainly, because I can cuss, it's my show. I say, fuck Cal Newport. Fuck that idea. Run, run, run towards your dream. Run towards that thing that you want to do and that you're passionate about and that burns that desire deep in your chest. And I'm telling you, you're not the only one. Others are out there just like you, and they dreamt and they had that passion burning inside of them, and they did it, and they burnt the boats. They pushed off from shore. They went into deep water. They treaded, they swam, and they found their place to be, and they're thriving. They're not just surviving, they're thriving. And what I'm trying to say is if they can fucking do it, so can you. So can I. If Miles can be in here telling stories of adventure and going to far off places and learning culture and being willing to bring back some experiences and putting them out on paper, you can be an author too. Success is not relegated to one type of individual. All of us have an equal place in this world to do it and achieve it. I'm telling you, not because I'm at the finish line. No, I'm in the grind just like you, but I'm hoping that this engagement, Miles' story, can give you inspiration to dare to dream again. It's too late to go back to the drawing board and start from the ground up. It is, unless it's entrepreneurial, unless it's a business. Be willing to dare in that endeavor. Don't go to the cheesecake or the cheese stick factory. Don't go to the work where it's like, I'll be a project manager here for 15 more years. Fuck that. Bet on yourself. Be willing to study. Be willing to use GI Bill, Voc Rehab. Figure out how to utilize the benefits that you earned to maximize your potential on the outside, and be willing to start off into something that you're passionate about. Time is the most precious commodity, and we cannot waste it. We just can't. I think that Miles, you would agree with that.
Plus one to that, Denny.
So what's next for you? What's on the horizon as far as adventure and travel?
I think, well, we're going to finish the Peru story. But I've been several times. I'll probably go back one time. Wells has not spearfished yet, so it's part of the story. So
Oh,
I have to get him down on a reef and shoot a grouper or two with a rifle. But the big one is the Congo.
oh, no way.
Eh,
Oh,
the
man.
whole Congo.
That takes guts, man. That takes a lot of machismo and some solid cojones because that is, I mean,
Yeah,
the complexities of that trip. Just
yeah,
the
yeah,
yeah, yeah.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
what is that templated? Do you have a date in mind or at least a year?
Year plus, but
Yeah.
it's retracing Stanley's voyage searching for Livingston, and
No.
so oh, yeah, it's the whole so we start in Kenya, through Lake Victoria, all the way down, and, yeah, it's a little Heart of Darkness, it's a little King Leopold in Belgian Congo, and, once again, white men behaving badly, there was it was called the Belgian Congo for a reason, is because the Europeans thought that Leopold should have that as a door prize. And first it was ivory, then that was like, whatever. And then it was rubber, and those that didn't come back with their minimum quota for the week of rubber from the surrounding areas got their hand cut off. It's like, it's the book of a million hands, 6 million people. It's like, boom. And uh, now it's the precious minerals that power our phones and our spaceships and our drones and our solar panels.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
ask the Middle East what happens when there's like valuable natural resources and unstable governments on top.
Yeah. This is one we could go on for hours with the Chinese Belt and Road Initiative and the exploitation of those nations, the predatory loans, it's one of the greatest resource rich areas, but it
Seemed like a good one until until Belt and Road going on in Venezuela,
yeah.
and not so much anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. But it's again, it's all this development, all this exploitation, and the people continue to suffer. And it's funny, the uh the thing that gets me, and man, we could do full other episodes on this because the problem is so complex.
Yeah.
The problem is so complex. I think there's a brilliant clip, and I want to figure it out. I'll send it to you, but it's a Chinese handler working in the Congo on a railroad program, and it goes into the 15-minute conversation breaks down the ideology and the problem set that is throughout Africa that I think more people need to understand and appreciate when you think about why isn't it further along, why haven't it progressed,
Oh,
and
yeah. Yeah.
but
There's
yeah,
your answer. Easy.
yeah.
Easy.
Miles, I can't thank you enough for coming on here today. If people want to learn more about Reflecta and what you're doing, where can they go?
It's Reflecta.ai, spelled Reflecta with a K. Go talk to my dad, Arthur, or Virginia if you want to talk about a ballerina. Talk to a ballerina. Dad was a football player. Um, that's where you're gonna learn the most. That's when you're gonna experience what Reflecta truly can do for spontaneous and dynamic conversations with loved ones, and that's the place to get started for sure.
Heck yeah. And what about social media?
Nah, I'm in favor. Yeah, so yeah, LinkedIn all day long, and I have an Insta both for my Reflective work, but also for my artwork and my writing. So, anyways,
Heck yeah.
Miles Spencer Insta, and you get all that. Um, but you could probably ask my dad about all this on Reflecta, and you can get the answers to it as well.
But guys, do me a favor. You know the spiel. The show's coming up to an end. Do me a favor. Pause it. Go to episode description. Click those links. While you're at it, head on over to the review section. Leave us a 5-star review and some positive comments. Or even better, hit that text in. Send us a text feature on Spotify. Let us know what you think of the show. Let us know if you enjoyed it. Let us know if you want to get in contact with Miles and hear about his adventures, or if you just want to know more about Reflecta, and I'll pass it along. Miles, thanks again for being here. Thank you for what you're doing and for continuously pursuing excellence, both in the adventure world and in the world of AI, because we need that advancement. And to everybody listening, thank you all for tuning in, and we'll see you all next time. Till then, take care.